It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, June 5th. It is my son's 10-year-old birthday, 10th birthday. You don't say 10-year-old birthday. What am I thinking? 10 years ago today, I was on a hospital bed, birthing my second born, my baby, my little Oliver. I am so proud of my 10-year-old baby. I cannot believe I have two kids in the double digits. Where does the time go? Where does the time go? We have so much to talk about today. It's like a day of breaking news, breaking Bravo news. Today's going to be like a weird, strange, interesting throwback episode. We've got some Blake Lively news. We've got some Karen Reed. Crazy, interesting, I kind of went down a rabbit hole yesterday about Lucky, the snowplow driver, and what would have happened in like a sliding doors moment had Karen Reed not called Jen McCabe. We'll get into that. And then, of course, the breaking news of the day is Paige Desorbo. But it's more than just Paige Desorbo quitting Summer House, because there's a little bit of a scandalous situation with Paige. We'll get into that and more. So much to talk about today on Daily Dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. I see you guys in the comments saying happy birthday and saying hello. It is the second to last day of school. We're officially almost on summer break. How about you guys? It's crazy. It's crazy how fast it's going. I can't believe it. Even though it feels, we're definitely in the June gloom era here in Los Angeles. I don't know about where you guys live, but it's like it's overcast. That's how it works. It's May gray, June gloom here in LA, but then it warms up. So you never know what to wear. Although I'm like bringing on the summer vibes with my little tube top overall outfit, trying to bring on the sun. I am so seasonally affected. If it's not sunny, I feel down in the dumps. But you know what? These days, oh my gosh, I'm seeing names that I haven't seen so long in the lives. I feel like this is a reunion. Like Nicole, Donna, miss these lives and happy. It's not my birthday, but I guess it is my birthday because it is the mother's birthday, right? My birthday's next week. Says Donna, miss these lives from Nicole. She's my favorite lesbian. Sorry, other lesbians. Donna, miss these lives. Happy birthday. Karen Reed trial is off for Oliver's birthday. You know what? Actually, I would say that it should be Oliver's birthday. It should have been a birthday gift that Karen Reed trial would be on. I'm pissed. What is this, 1942? They don't have air conditioning in this freaking courtroom that we have no trial today? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. All the money that they spent on Blue Man Group and that ridiculous experiment could have been used towards an AC system, a silent AC system. I did see, just speaking quickly on why Karen Reed's trial is not in, Christina Rex, who's a court reporter, she sits there and she live tweets a lot. She did say that when you're actually in the courtroom, the mics that we hear on the live feed, they don't get that mic sound in the room. They're just getting your live voice. So the fans are actually really loud. And that's why Judge Bev is constantly like, turn down the fans, turn up the fans, turn down the fans, turn up. So that's the issue there. What I think that they need to do is they need to invest in a little bit of a sound system. I don't understand why not. All the money that they're spending on all these witnesses, I don't understand why they don't just spend a little money. Don't they have someone in the Canton department that is willing to donate an extra AC situation? I don't know. I just feel like it's worth it. Although this trial is going to end before we know it. And then hopefully we'll never have to see Canton again. No offense, Canton. No offense. Okay. let's get into some of the big stories today. Before I get into it, we have about 20 tickets left for Dosers Live. That is so exciting to me and so sad for those of you that haven't decided to purchase yet. So, Dosers Live is on August 23rd. Once again, if you guys have not bought your tickets, they are so affordable. I did just get a message about BravoCon this year. I'm not going to BravoCon. I think I've talked about that before, but I'm not going to BravoCon this year. But it's so freaking expensive. It's like robbery. BravoCon is robbery. I don't understand. It's crazy. It's like who came up with these prices? Did you guys see how much BravoCon is? It's nutty. I mean, let me see if I can pull up what the email said to me. Just to me. It only came to me. It said, okay, so the pre-sale came out this morning and then the pre-sale ended already. It says pre-sale tickets are no longer available, but we're just getting started. So I'm sure they already sold out of their pre-sale because this is how it works, right? Like everyone's like, oh my God, I need to get tickets. It says it's already sold out. Yes, pre-sale. So for VIP pre-sale tickets, it was $1,500. $1,500 for 3 days to meet Bravo stars. What? What am I missing? I'm so confused. What are we missing here? Now, at this point, and Nicole's right, would rather go to CrimeCon. I would spend $1,500 simply just to sit down alone with Alan Jackson. I'm not going to say what I'm doing with Alan Jackson. Just kidding. I'm just getting legal advice. Maybe workout advice. Have you seen those guns? I would spend $1,500 to get a recipe, like to get a live cooking hour with Alan Jackson. What do you guys think? Would you do that? Now, it doesn't make any sense to me why people would spend this money on BravoCon, having been to BravoCon, but I get it. Like, it sounds fun from a distance, whatever. Dosers Live is $100 plus like $10 in fees. So if you're in Los Angeles and you want to go to a fun few-hour event, you don't have to spend 3 days in lines and in booths and in lines and in booths trying to spend money to buy merch from Jesse Lally from the Valley, then come to Dosers Live. Go to dailydosepod.com/DosersLive and buy your tickets, and they will sell out because we have about 3 months left and we only have about 20 tickets left. So make sure to buy your tickets. Now, I'm going to put my hair up so I don't fuck with it anymore. Can I tell you guys my biggest what's it called? Criticism that I used to get. Remember the days when my biggest criticism that I used to get was stop playing with your hair. Now things are so much more serious. I used to always get stop playing with your hair. Stay Body got her ticket. Stephanie got her ticket. I'm working with Stephanie. I have to email you back, Stephanie. I've been meaning to. I'm trying to organize. I want Stephanie from Stay Body to sell her incredible bodysuits at Dosers Live because she has these incredible bodysuits that I've been wearing. So many of you guys purchased them. All of you guys are happy. I went to a girlfriend's party for Memorial Day the other day, and I was like pulling down my pants and showing them the incredible technology of the thong situation. So make sure to get your butts over there. And if not, go to staybody.com, STABODY, and use code DailyDose to check those bodysuits out and get 10% off your order because they're the best bodysuits. And then you don't have to unsnap them, especially when you're on a plane. That's like my favorite part about it. All right, let's get into the story right now. Paige Desorbo, breaking news, has woken up this morning and decided to finally announce that she is no longer going to be doing any Summer House, Hamptons, bed rotting. This is not surprising to anyone that's been paying attention, I guess, behind the scenes on Paige Desorbo's incredible career trajectory. But still, I would say most people were pretty surprised. The only way I was surprised was the fact that it was announced in her Instagram stories and not in her um feed, because this feels like a very, very, I don't know, huge announcement for someone like Paige, who spent 7 years on Summer House. This was a show that really put her on the map. She had no career before this other than she was just, she was like a little fashion influencer. She had a little blog. I think that's a little blog. That's kind of all she did. So this is a really, really big deal for her to announce this, and she didn't even put it on her feed. I thought that was a very, very big tell. Like, everyone puts something like this on her feed. It was a very timed announcement. It was already on People magazine. The second she put it on her feed in her stories, there was an article on People, there was an article in Us magazine, there was already an article on Page Six. Bravo had already had a feed post put out. So this was a planned announcement. There was nothing about this that was surprising. I do believe that this was a planned announcement, and she knew she was going to announce the morning after the reunion. I'm very surprised that she didn't make a bigger emotional announcement on her feed with all these pictures and these memories that she ended up putting in her stories. So let me just kind of walk you down her memory lane, which I thought was kind of cute. That she put in her stories. So she says, I have a little life update for you. I've made the decision not to return to Summer House. Being part of the show has been one of the most rewarding chapters of my life. The friendships, the drama, the giggles, all unforgettable. You've seen me grow up over these last 7 summers. I will always be beyond grateful for the memories, the community, and the opportunities this wild ride has brought me. But like all good things and some bad decisions, it's time for this chapter to close. I feel like she's talking about Craig, which, by the way, we're going to talk about, because Craig, the obsession with Craig is real on this show. It's crazy. They cannot get Craig off of their minds. To my castmates, the fans, and to my NBCU family, thank you. I've never imagined what this journey would turn into and how many of you would be along for the ride. And you haven't seen the last of me, I promise. So much more to do together. But for now, you can always find me and Daphne in my bed. More to come on Daphne. We have a story about that in just a second. Then she continues to go through a bunch of different stories in her really cute pictures, just memories. So this is, from 2018, her and Amanda. This is when they first were on the show. They look like little babies. It's very cute. Her first being in bed. This is the first year she was on the show. This is Luke. And remember Hannah Berner, how annoying she was on the show. I think this was season 4 or 5. Yeah, this was season 4, because this was, what's that girl's name? Jules? Was that her name, Jules? I think it was Jules. She got treated so badly on that show. This was the heyday of Summer House for me. Season 4 of Summer House, the year before the COVID year, when Carl was still drinking. I'm not saying he needs to drink to be fun, but let's be real. He was so much better when he was drinking for the show. And Paige were hooking up in the cabinet, like in the pantry. Wasn't it so fun? Enrique's like, I know nothing of these people. It's like another world. Don't worry, Enrique. We're coming to your world of Blake Lively soon enough. Just stick around. Don't worry. And see, this is the thing. We have people that are obsessed with the Blake Lively story, and they're like, don't ever talk about Bravo. And then people that are obsessed with Bravo, and they're like, don't ever talk about Blake Lively. So that's why, remember, this is the Soup Plantation. Donna Bowling's show, Daily Dose of Donna, is Soup Plantation. You come for a little salad bar, you stay for a little pizza, you stick around for a little, soft serve ice cream. Okay. We get a little bit of everything. And, but this was the best season ever. If you ever want a good bingeable show, when I had COVID in 2021, I think it was 2021 when I got it, I spent 2 weeks in bed or a week in bed and watched all the seasons of Summer House. It was the best week of my life. Minus being sick, I still missed that week. I didn't have to parent. I laid in bed and got food delivered to me, and I watched Summer House. I missed those days. Old school Kyle. It was just the best times. But you have to remember, I look back at Amanda and Paige and Hannah and these girls, and for the most part, yeah, they're adorable and they're cute and whatever. But The problem with Paige and okay, so this is when Paige and Carl were hooking up, and I need you guys to take just a moment. For those of you guys that are watching, oh my gosh, look at this. Nicole is in with Carl. Okay, don't tell Carl I'm talking about him like this, okay? Nicole says, I have a meeting with Carl tomorrow for coffee soft bar. Oh my God. You have to let me know. So Carl was so handsome compared to where he is now. Like, what happened here? Usually when you get sober, you get like better looking, in my opinion. Is it the tan? Was it the tan? It's interesting. Very handsome in this picture. It's like a different face completely. Okay. Maybe he needs a spray tan. Okay. The problem with Paige and some of these girls over the years is that I was talking about it in my stories and I got someone messaging me and said, why do you hate her so much? Here's the thing. I never hated Paige. I always really liked Paige. In fact, I got made fun of a lot in my comments all the time saying, oh my gosh, you're so obsessed with Paige. But I noticed something in the last, oh, and then she's posting about Giggly Squad. I noticed something in the last few months, ever since her breakup with Craig. And I realized like there's a lot of fake there because she's been playing her audience for so long. She played us by saying that she was in this perfect relationship, which now we know was a fake. Okay. She said Craig and her were this like perfect, amazing couple. Obviously not. She constantly says, I am the biggest girl's girl. I am such a girl's girl. Well, you're clearly not. You are incredibly a girl's girl to just your little tiny circle of girls. But if the girl is not on your little circle of girls, you're very, very mean to the other girls who are not in your little circle of girls. So it's a lot of hypocrisy. I also really, and we've talked about this so much, and especially this last year with the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively story, I am not into this I hate men as a blanket statement. And she's very anti-men in general. And just like I don't like men that hate all women, I don't like women that hate all men. It just feels very like negative. And I think that that's become her brand is like men suck, men are stupid. I think she's slowed that down in the last couple months. But when she first broke up with Craig, or even towards the end of her relationship with Craig, every man was just dumb, stupid, pointless, not necessary, like a stain on society, an annoying person. And if you dared disagree with that, the gigglers, her like cultish followers, would attack. And that I didn't like either. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Can Kid says, I don't watch the show. Carl looks great in the photo Donna just showed. What does he look like now? So let me show you a picture of what Carl Radke reunion. What did he look like in the reunion? And I'll show you. Oh my gosh, you can't compare. You cannot compare. It's like night and day, and I don't get it. I don't get it. It's really odd. Like, what is it? Is he just too skinny? He just is too skinny. Now, he does talk about in the reunion last night. We'll talk about the reunion in just a minute. Well, actually, we can talk about the reunion. I want to finish with the Paige story and then we'll talk about the reunion. He talks about his insecurity about his teeth because in the reunion, Gabby, they brought up a clip where Gabby makes fun of his teeth because he did have these really, really big teeth. And if you remember, drunk drawn Carl teeth. I feel bad laughing, but drunk drawn did these teeth. Where? How do I find the picture? Come on, someone has to have it somewhere. I don't even know what I'm picking up. Here. Okay, this was basically what his teeth looked like a little while ago. Like it was wild, wild. And so he was getting made fun of, I guess, about his teeth. And yesterday on the show, on the reunion, he even said it. He said, I've always had issues with my teeth. I got hit in the face many times with like a hockey stick or this and that when I was younger. And my teeth turned yellow and I was really embarrassed by them. And I ended up getting new teeth and then they were too big and I had them fixed. So that made me feel sad. Okay. I did feel bad about that. Now, Carl is like, he clearly has like a handsome base. I just want to give him I want to like fatten him up a bit. I want to thicken him up. I want to tan him up. I want to maybe like, yeah, I want to give him like a couple sandwiches. Like, man. Okay. Paige. Let's finish on Paige. Now, the reason why I got asked if I hate Paige this morning is because I had just been sent a wild TikTok. I need to show it to you guys and I need to know what your thoughts are. And this is going to, if it's anything like what I thought, it's going to blow your mind because I thought it was incredibly, in my opinion, I thought it was incredibly damaging because um, it feels like, uh, to me, it feels like it's actually going to be very, very problematic for Paige's brand, but maybe not. Maybe they've protected themselves in some capacity and they're not going to have an issue with it. But this feels like it's going to be problematic. So, this girl on TikTok, she has a small pajama brand and it's called CV PJs. She only has about 400 followers on TikTok. I don't know if she also has a uh, Instagram account, a website, I don't know anything. But she posted something on TikTok, and luckily it's getting a little more traction because if this is true, this sucks. Daphne is Paige Desorbo's new brand. She just launched it yesterday or the day before. She is known as the bed rotter. She lays in bed all day on Summer House. She loves the bed. And of course, she's an entrepreneur. She has a huge line of she's a businesswoman. She has so many things going on. And she just launched this line called Daphne, literally yesterday or the day before. And now this woman on TikTok is coming out and saying this. And I want to know from you guys if you believe that there's any validity in this. I believe that there is. And it's not looking very positive for Paige. And I heard of this 5 seconds before Paige announced that she's no longer on Summer House.
On this one, guys, I was excited at first to see Paige is making pajamas because that's a girl like me. If you've seen her on Summer House, you know it's perfect for her. And I design pajamas, so I'm like, all right, great. Great for the industry. Let's normalize more pajamas. Then I started to read the article and I got a little sad. Designed to be worn in and out of bed, the girl in college, the young professional logging onto Zoom for her first job. That's my shtick. That's how I advertise my brand. Pajamas for Zoom calls is my main thing. It's what I use in articles, on social media, or sending press kits out. Like in this one, Paige says, the girl in college, the young professional logging into Zoom for her first job. And that was my marketing for when I was on Fox Philly. Gift ideas for college grads, PJs that are Zoom ready. For timeline, these were both like over a year ago, and my brand's been out for 2 years now. I don't want to assume that Paige herself has seen my brand. Like, I'm not famous. Like, I've been on the news. Like, maybe she saw a billboard. Then I keep reading the article, and she goes on to talk about how she picked out the brand incubator that she was going to use to make her brand. And then it says, Kyle DeFord, a longtime fashion retail professional and former GM of Jenna Lyons' Love Scene, who is now the general manager of Daphne. And I instantly was like, oh, literally a year ago today, Jenna Lyons did a pop-up shop doing a closet clean out in her office. And with me, I brought my pajamas. I didn't even think she'd look at them again. I just had to, for myself, put them in her orbit. I gave her my pajamas. I gave her the lookbook. I gave her the press kit. I just gave her my best batch of my cute stuff. I had a feeling I'd never see her in my pajamas, but someone posted a picture of her at the sale. And I was like, all right, that's a win. That's my orange bag. Back to the article. So Kyle DeFord worked for Jenna, and then now he's the general manager of Daphne. And then that was the missing puzzle piece. My pajamas were in the hands of Love Scene June 2024. And then Kyle left and then went to make Daphne in August 2024. I'm not saying Paige saw my brand. What I am saying is I hand delivered my press samples and PR kit to her co-founder's boss. And that's just the words and the concept and the branding. And the final piece was I went on the Daphne Instagram and I saw her merch, which has the same placement as my merch, which isn't on my site, in my lookbook that I hand delivered to her co-founder. This isn't about the product similarities. It's the same branding vibe. It's the same ethos of my company.
Okay. So I'm not a copyright attorney. I'm not an attorney at all, obviously, even though I feel like I am one since, I'm in trial every day and on jury duty. This feels wild, especially because there's a clear connection. So of course I am, a private investigator on my free time. And I looked up this guy, Kyle DeFord. And this is a man, he says he's the GM of Daphne. This is 100% him. It doesn't speak at all about, what he does or anything. He's a public profile. I didn't have to break through and fake anything, but this is him. He has a LinkedIn and everything. He clearly worked for Jenna Lyons and now he works for Paige Desorbo. She handed him her lookbook for her company and now he works for Paige Desorbo. It's the exact same concept. It's the exact same messaging. It's the exact same marketing. It's the exact same logo placement. It's too similar. I don't know if Paige has any idea. That's what I said in my Instagram stories. I said, this may completely have gone over Paige's head. Because if your founder, if your GM comes to you and says, if you basically say, I have no idea how the fashion industry works, but if you go to someone and you say, I want to come up with a PJ line, and they say, I have a great idea for you. What if we do this? And then they say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Fantastic. There you go. Done. And that's his job. He's like, I have a great idea for you. And he never says, hey, there's this girl that also has a PJ line and does the A, B, and C. Why would Paige ever think that this man is bringing someone else's idea? I think Paige would probably be of the, you would think that the person that you just hired that came from this well-established company, et cetera, is doing the job to say, let's go through the trademark process and let's confirm that no one else took this idea and this and this and this and that. Clearly, he stole this idea. It's very clear that he stole this idea. So I don't know. I'm not blaming Paige at all, but this is horrible, horrible. And the second that now it's on TikTok, and this is the nice thing about social media, is that small creators like this woman from CV Pajamas can now go and have a voice. Because think about it. This is going to happen to clothing designers. It can happen to any product designers. It can happen to script writers, right? This happened just the other day on with a script that Allison Brie and James Franco's brother, Dave Franco, created a whole movie based on someone else's script who had pitched the movie to Allison and Dave Franco. And then they went to the movie, the premiere of it, and they were like, this is our movie that they literally just created from our pitch. They took our movie. This happens all the time in every industry, and it's not cool. It's not okay. Now, I don't know specifically who knew what, whatever. And maybe it's random. Last night I was on TikTok. This is crazy too. This stuff happens all the time. But last night I was on TikTok and I saw this girl. She just came up in my For You page, and she's a woman who's a nurse, or she works in some sort of hospital environment where she wears a full hospital, like one of those hospital caps, and full scrubs. And she does what I eat in a day content. And she's sitting there as a nurse and she's just eating her what I eat in a day with timestamps. I've never seen anyone do this. That's not my side of TikTok. And I'm watching it. And she's totally eating it and doing it. And the comments are wild. They're like, wow, be your own person. I cannot believe you're stealing this. It's down to the mannerisms. You're literally doing exactly what Katie does. Well, I don't watch Katie. I have no idea who Katie is. The surgical tech, that's what everyone is saying. So I'm searching Katie, like in the searches, it says Katie the surgical tech. I'm searching Katie the surgical tech. It's literally a carbon copy of an entire other profile. This other girl, Katie the surgical tech, is on TikTok, does the exact same thing. But this girl is saying, I've never seen Katie the surgical tech. I literally am just showing you what I eat in a day. But it's the same exact concept on two different TikTok profiles from two girls who do the exact same thing, same outfits, same foods, basically, same mason jars, everything. And she's like, I'm literally just doing my own thing. I don't know why. It's the exact same, but I have no idea. Is it possible that two people come up with the exact same ideas? I guess it's possible, but this one has a connection. This man literally was receiving a lookbook from one, and Paige Desorbo now hired this man. I believe Paige Desorbo got duped and is now launching a stolen brand and a stolen idea. Sounds pretty shitty. The original company, if you guys want to promote it or look at it, is called CV Pajamas. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. So meanwhile, last night on the reunion for Summer House, we did have a lot of interesting things. I will tell you this. Everyone was so like scared. What is going to be the big announcement? Like, oh my God, is Amanda going to be pregnant? That's what everyone thought because Amanda had the first seat. I still don't get why Amanda had the first seat on Summer House. It made no sense to me. It made no sense whatsoever that Amanda had the first seat because she didn't really have any announcement of any kind. It was strange. Lindsay should have had the first seat. It was probably her last season on Summer House. She just had a baby, whatever. But she announced that she's no longer in a relationship with the baby daddy that she's with. I told you guys that when I was on Dumois. Remember? I don't know if you guys remember that, but when I was on Dumois, we announced that, or Dumois announced that on the episode that I was on. And everyone's like, no, it's not true. Well, it's true. What else happened on the episode? Nothing of note. It wasn't so incredible or amazing, except they decided to smear the shit out of Craig again. How do we go through an episode of anything without smearing Craig Conover? I was pretty disappointed in how this continues to go down for Craig. Do I think Craig lies? Yes. Absolutely. I think Craig Conover is a liar. At least some of the time. Absolutely. Do I believe that Paige Desorbo is perfect in this situation? Absolutely not. She treats him, the way she talks about him is as if he is a scam artist. Like as if he literally conned her for 3 years. Like he's Dirty John. She treats him awful the way she talks about him. She's like, I don't believe anything he says. She talked about the Spritz and the Loverboy wars. Okay. I have some bones to pick about this. Number one, she says that she can't say his name out loud, as if he murdered someone that she loves. It's giving petty. Don't you guys think that's ridiculous? Nanner says, I love that Paige won't say Craig's name so he doesn't get any clicks or more promotion. Really? Really? Are we really not saying each other's names? We're at that point in life where we're not saying each other's names. I don't know. I think that's crazy that she can't say his name. I mean, everyone else is saying his name on the show. Then what happened? Oh yeah. So what I don't like about this with the Spritz and the Loverboy stuff, she talks about, and you guys tell me if you're in a situation like this where you've protected your boyfriend or your husband, even though they've been the most toxic people or liars or whatever in the moment. Okay. This is what she's saying. She said, I've had to lie for him. I've had to defend him when he's been horrible in the past. And now that we're not together, she's basically throwing him under the bus. That makes sense. I think a lot of people have been in those kinds of relationships. However, what I think is that if you are protecting your horrendous, horrible, if this is true, liar, horrendous, horrible, toxic, drunk, disgusting, entitled, bratty, all these things that she's calling him. If you are protecting him in all of these horrible ways, you have a little bit of blame in this, just like Brittany Cartwright does with Jax. If you guys have so much hate, sorry, if you guys have, I said sorry to my microphone. I literally just apologized to my microphone. I apologized. Wow. Everyone is so quick to get mad at Brittany, also Brittany Cartwright on the Valley, for protecting Jax. Like, people are so mad about, well, Brittany also allowed Jax to treat her this way for years, and Brittany covered up Jax's lies. And Brittany said it was okay for Jax to treat her this way and still stayed with him, and this and this and that. But like, everyone's just allowing Paige to walk away from Craig being, quote unquote, according to her, this horrendous liar, this incredible brat, this entitled drunk, this toxic person. We never saw any of, we had moments of it throughout the years, but we didn't see this horrible relationship that she's saying apparently that they were in. And now all of a sudden she's saying it was all these awful things. And everyone's saying that now, oh my God, Paige, like, power to you. Amazing. I'm confused. What's the double standard? Why? So I think she's really, like, she has a little bit of revisionist history with her relationship. She's confirming that he was kicked out of the wedding from Amanda and Kyle's wedding a few years ago, confirming it. She's saying he was acting horribly. For years, they denied it. And remember, they got so mad at Lindsay and Carl for like spreading this fake rumor. Again, a lie. And then they went into the Spritz and the Loverboy wars. She was so defending Craig with his investing in Spritz at the time. Now it comes out that she was so mad at him for investing in Spritz and not talking to Kyle. But the worst part about it is that Kyle said that after she broke up with Craig, she texted Kyle and said, "Team Loverboy." And the reason why I think that that's shitty is because Paige Desorbo is actually in real life friends with the owners of Spritz Society, not Craig, but Claudia and Jackie Oshry from The Toast. I know this because I have a weird behind the scenes insight in a lot of these podcast girls, right? Jackie, Claudia, Taylor Strecker, Hannah Berner, Paige Desorbo, all of these girls, they're all friends. And they created Spritz Society. And so for Paige Desorbo to just say Team Loverboy and throw that entire company, Spritz Society, under the bus because of her breakup with Craig on a public platform like Summer House, in a split like that, is pretty shitty, in my opinion, because it's a business. It's not about Craig and it's not about Kyle. This is a business. And to just do it so fickle when it's a women-owned business versus Kyle's shitty behavior. And Kyle is such a shitty guy. Like, over the years, Kyle has never had Paige's back. Kyle is such an asshole to Paige. Kyle is such an horrible husband to her bestie, Amanda. He cheats on Amanda all the time, consistently throughout their relationship. And all of a sudden, in 2 seconds, you're going to immediately drop every connection you've had to the old brand and you're going to Team Loverboy just to like throw your ex under the bus. I was annoyed by that. Like, I was annoyed for the girls that own Spritz Society for that moment. You know what I mean? It's just fickle. She feels fickle to me. It's like one day I'm obsessed with this, the next day I'm obsessed with this. I don't know. There's something about it. But at the same time, I will say there's certain people on these shows that you can't help but want to watch. For example, on that couch, Gabby, take her or leave her. Boring. Lexi, take her or leave her. Don't care. Carl, bye. Boring. Sierra, boring. Paige, I want to watch her. I don't care if you're nice, mean, bitchy, that I want to watch her. The other couch, I feel the same way about Lindsay. I don't feel the same way about many other people. But Lindsay and Paige, no matter if you like them or hate them, although Lindsay to me is my favorite, has been for years. Even when she was bad, she was good TV. Lindsay and Paige cannot go far. Bravo should pay them as much money as they have in their pockets to not leave Bravo. Whether it's their own shows, it's a spin-off show of them in the city, single in the city, whatever it is, they cannot lose them because they are huge, huge, huge gets for that network. And if they leave Bravo, they're going somewhere else, especially Lindsay. Well, I'd say both of them. Both of them are huge stars. So whether it's Real Housewives, I think Paige feels young for Real Housewives, but Lindsay doesn't. But both of them need to stay on TV. And that's just my thoughts. So you asked for my thoughts. Meanwhile, Jesse Solomon can go, I don't know, sing a song somewhere in like a random lounge in Jersey. I don't even know. He's so annoying to me. West, boring AF. Emerald, poor thing. He was a drop by. He came in and came out. I mean, he got no screen time, even on the reunion. Kyle is obviously, Kyle and Amanda, if they leave Summer House, the show definitely is over. But how embarrassing for them that they come back to Summer House and Paige and Carl and Lindsay are all gone next season. And I think Carl and Lindsay will be gone as well. I think Gabby will be gone. I think Lexi will be gone. I think next season they're going to have Sierra, which is also embarrassing. Like, Sierra has no personality to me. Guys, I'm sorry. I cannot understand Sierra. She is so cold, in my opinion. Like, I just don't get the appeal for Sierra at all. But I think next season, if they do come back, it's going to be Amanda. It's going to be Amanda, Kyle, Jesse, West, Sierra, and then they'll have to find a couple other girls. I don't know. I don't want to watch it. I don't see the show coming back. Like, they need a whole new cast. I think everyone's aged out, and then these younger people are just boring now, which is sad because it was such a good show. It was the best, but I think we've got to move on from Summer House. Okay, so let's move on to another story. There's some other good stories to chat about. I love how my head story that I put in my notes is Paige stealing pajamas. Okay, Blake Lively. Got to talk about it really fast. Blake Lively slams Justin Baldoni for abandoning his message of listening to women. I am so done with this woman, Blake. I truly don't even want to talk about her anymore sometimes. Like, she annoys me. And that's why I put her in my backstory today. I didn't even want to start the show with her. I'm so over her. I'm so annoyed by Blake Lively. Anyone else? Like, she bugs. She bugs me. My friend Molly sent me a DM of her posting about flowers in her Instagram stories this morning. And I'm like, God, could she be more annoying? She's literally like a gnat. Like, go away. She's annoying. I'm just reporting on it because this is like what we have to do here is continue to report, but she's annoying. But I will just report a couple minutes before I move on to something else. She slams Justin Baldoni for his abandoning of listening to women. I would change the wording of his abandoning of his message of listening to liars. How about that? She's slamming him for challenging the various women's organizations for speaking out against him. 19 leading survivors and organizations devoted to women's rights, children's rights, and domestic violence have now signed into 4 separate amicus briefs. All are united in opposing Justin Baldoni's attempt to dismantle a law designed to protect women who speak up simply to protect himself. The statement noted that the latest briefs, which have been filed by Child USA and Sanctuary for Families, added to the voices of renowned prophets, victim advocates, and experts from around the world who are dedicated to safeguarding the rights and well-being of people who speak up. Several of the organizations that have signed on include National Organization for Women, Women's Justice Now, and National Network to End Domestic Violence. Rather than defend his case on the facts, Baldoni is now contradicting years of his own public persona, abandoning the message of his Me Too YouTubes, podcasts, TED Talks, and interviews where he once upon a time urged men to listen to the women in your life, to hold the anguish and actually believe them, even if what they're saying is against you. These women and organizations are sounding the alarm about his Darvo tactics and the chilling effect they could have well beyond the case. News broke in September. Okay, whatever. Da, 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 da. Then she says, perpetrators use defamation suits to deny their own liability, discredit survivors of sexual violence, and reverse the narratives to cast themselves as the real victims. This smear tactic comes at a real cost to victims who muster the enormous courage required to report their abusers in the first instance. The docs read, if the use of Darvo tactics and defamation lawsuits is allowed to continue unchecked, embroiling victims in costly and drawn-out litigation proceedings that force them to relive their trauma, it will embolden perpetrators and contribute to a culture of silence. This will impact survivors from all socioeconomic backgrounds, including those with the least means to defend themselves, as well as the most high-powered celebrities. I have Darvo. Is Darvo sounds now like an STD. I have Darvo from Blake. I can't. I can't. I'm just feeling like she's got a book. Like she has a book. This book, someone gave it to me. It says, attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, mirror what you admire. And her book says, do everything to annoy the shit out of every single person that you come in contact with. And Blake is like, oh my God. Okay. Challenge accepted. She's so annoying. Like, I don't understand how anyone cannot see through her. I just don't get it. Because everything she's doing is so textbook narcissism right now. It's so textbook gaslighting. It's so textbook. It feels like I told you yesterday, like she's like going through the list she's in the white pages, right? She's in the white pages of nonprofit organizations that help, sexual assault victims or victims of abuse or child victims or victims of sexual assault or social workers or whatever. Like she went through the yellow pages or the white pages, right? And she's like, she told her lawyers, like, go through this list and find them all. Because once she withdrew those claims of emotional distress, once she withdrew all of that because she doesn't want to reveal the records, like game over. It feels over. Now we're just playing games. That's the most important part of this entire thing, is showing that you have damages from this smear campaign and from the sexual harassment. If you don't have the damages from this, you're done. If you are sexually harassed, allegedly, if you are sexually harassed and you are the victim of a smear campaign, and yet life goes on perfectly, and you win awards, and you're a Titan for the Time 100, and you are getting premieres and you're releasing 475,000 booze lines and hair lines and makeup lines and God knows what else lines, and everything is coming up roses for you, well, then nothing bad happened to you. In fact, this was a blessing. So what are we doing here? This is a waste of time. Like, you're teaching people that they should get sexually harassed, and then they should get smear campaigns, and then they should go through this process, because look what it does to your career. It's phenomenal for your career. Clearly, Blake, that's all what you're teaching people. You're not showing anyone that you're struggling. You're showing people that this is phenomenal for a career. So shut the F up. Honestly, shut up and stop wasting our time. When seriously, people are dying, Kim. People are seriously dying. Like, legitimately, there's wars going on. There's people that are dying. People are literally getting like, truly abused in the system. There's so many actual cases of sexual assault, and you are ruining the system. And I'm done with your shit. I'm so over her. And the fact that she's like dancing and prancing with her flowers on her Instagram stories makes me want to just like walk over to her and be like, wake up. Wake up. What are you doing? I'm done with her, you guys. I mean, I'll still report on the big things, but like, her attorneys have got to be idiots. The only reason they're not idiots is because they're making so much money, but they have to be idiots. They look stupid. And I don't know enough about law or lawyers or court, but I know enough to know that they have to be laughing stocks in this case. They have to. Where it's a little different with the Karen Reed case, because I have heard from lawyers that truly do look at, like, they are looking at the case and there's evidence and this and this and that. But we're literally filing a court case based on feelings. My feelings are hurt. I'm going to file a court case. It doesn't make sense. I'm so, what a waste of our lives. Reporting on it tomorrow. It's so crazy. Now, I did see something yesterday or the day before on Ryan Reynolds. Did you guys see something about Ryan Reynolds the other day where something is like, he has to change his, like, one of his movies got pushed or something. I do think that, like, I wonder where it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll find it. Well, I don't know. Whatever. Something got pushed in his schedule or something. But I will, at the end of the day, I'm so done with them. I'm done with both of them. And I feel annoyed. So that's where I am today. And every day it changes. Okay, let's move on to, the Animal movie is pushed back to after the court date. What is that? It's so weird. I don't even know what it is. Okay, let's move on to, and by the way, Gloria's daughter says these women's groups are basically telling court to just believe the women outright and deny allowing men to defend themselves against allegations. I also got a comment on the Facebook group, Daily Dose of Donna Facebook group, saying, about believing all women. In 5 seconds, I can name like 20 women that we shouldn't believe. Okay. Casey Anthony, Jen McCabe. Of course, now I can't really remember anyone else off the top of my head. There are so many women who are serial liars, like severe serial liars. Jodi Arias, yes. Amber Heard. There are so many dangerous, scary women out there that are truly incredible. Oh my God, so true. The girl Dever on the stand the other day for what's her name, for the Karen Reed trial. The police woman who lied about did I see the cops in the Sally Port or not? Sherry Papini, Elizabeth Holmes, Jen Shaw, every single housewife. Every single housewife. I don't believe women. I believe the truth. I don't care what your nether regions look like. It's unfortunate, but people like Blake are ruining it for other women. We've said this before. Okay, let's move on to another story. I want to talk about Karen Reed. Before I talk about Karen Reed, like just two little mini stories. A Kelly Clarkson story popped up again. And you guys, this is getting out of control. Again, I'm going to remind you, go subscribe to my Patreon. The show notes has the link in it. This last Sunday, I released a Patreon where I read an email that I got from a Kelly Clarkson show staffer. It's an anonymous for you guys email, but I was able to verify the source. This is a staffer from the Kelly Clarkson show. The new article that came out about Kelly Clarkson, this is what it says. Something is going on here and I don't get it, but this is what the new article says. It says tormented Kelly Clarkson has a meltdown on set over the real reason she fears quitting her show. And this meltdown says that she is most concerned about hundreds of staff losing their jobs if she does not renew a deal said to be worth almost $13 million. So this whole article says that her biggest concern is about her staff losing their jobs. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, go and listen to my Patreon because you will be shocked about how untrue that is. That's all I'm going to say about that. It is completely the opposite from someone that works with her. Okay, next. Love Island. I am starting to watch Love Island. This is my guilty pleasure every single every single summer since last summer. I loved it last summer. I was obsessed. I was in the weekends. I was like 4th of July weekend last summer. We rented a beach house up in Oxnard next to Garcelle's house. And I was on the beach watching Love Island. Like, I love this show. It started this week. So I will be watching it and I will be updating you guys on it. But already there's drama because one of the cast members was cut after the first episode over racial slurs. She was removed from season 7 after clips of them using racist slurs began surfacing online. Her name is Yulissa Escobar, and she was only on the second episode before the rest of the contestants even woke up for the day because she was using the N-word, and it was surfaced on Reddit and fans were irate. So for some reason, they didn't do the research before she got hired on the show. People found her using the N-word on her Instagram from before she was on the show. On the second episode, before everyone woke up, they just scooped her up and they took her off the show because, they're filming live in Fiji. Basically, they do it a couple days before. They do like editing basically live. And they took that girl out and I was okay. I didn't like her anyway. So I'm okay with this decision, but real bad. And I just can't believe after so many seasons of these reality shows, how can they not do the research to see what these people are doing on their social media? This happens every season on Big Brother, on Amazing Race, on, all these live shows. I don't know why I said Amazing Race. I don't think it's ever happened on me. It always happens on Big Brother and it always happens on these shows. It's crazy. Okay. And then a final little small story is about Kristin Cavallari. So I am obsessed with Kristin. I've said it 100 million times. And yesterday she was on Watch What Happens Live with her big, big new boobs. The way she looks, she looks hot, but those boobs are wowzers. Do you guys agree? Wowzers. That's all I can think. Andy Cohen is quite possibly the most annoying person on TV these days. I mean, other than Blake Lively. And he does this thing on Watch What Happens Live where I guess he gets this ball and it's a truth bomb. And he puts on this like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, like, and he does this whole thing. And so they asked her about hooking up with Craig. And this is what she had to say about it. Here we go.
This truth bomb is for Kristin!
Oh, here we go.
Kristin Cavallari. What exactly is the nature of your relationship with Craig Conover? Was it ever romantic?
Oh my God. Okay, let's talk about it. So Craig and I were friends first, became romantic for 2 seconds. The second I caught wind of Paige, I very politely excused myself from the situation.
Is 2 seconds how long he lasted?
Oh my God!
Was there overlap in your relationships?
There was a picture of Craig and Paige in New York. I'll never forget it. And it looked like they were sort of together. That was the first time anyone had seen them. That was the first I had heard about it. I saw that picture and I texted him and I said, hey, let's just be friends. Like, I don't want to get in the middle of this. I was already in a love triangle in high school. I'm good for the rest of my life. I'm never going to be in another one.
So it was towards the beginning of their relationship.
Yes.
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 Tonight's truth bomb.
Tonight's truth bomb. Can you imagine if I talked that way? You guys would be so annoyed with me. Yeah. So sounds like Kristin and Craig were kind of hooking up and Paige squeezed in there. I wonder what would have happened had Craig and Kristin stayed together. I actually think Craig and Kristin could have been a good little match. They're both like Southern. They live in like, I mean, they're not Southern, but like she lives in Nashville. He lives in Charleston. Did I tell you guys I'm going to Charleston? I'm going to Charleston. Not at the end of next week. So I am very excited. I've never been. Yes, her boobs look painful in that dress. I felt like the skin hurt. So I was excited, like nervous for them. But I was very, but she looks gorgeous. I didn't think Amanda's comment was very nice considering who she's married to. I'm sorry. Amanda like cannot talk shit about other people's husbands or boyfriends being married to Kyle Cook. You just like don't have a say anymore when you're married to Kyle Cook. That's it. Anyway, so that's how I feel about that. Before I finalize with a little bit of a last minute Karen Reed theory, the Real Housewives of OC trailer just came out. Do we want to like try to watch it on Face Reality 16? She posted the trailer on her Instagram. Let's just try to watch it and hopefully we don't get docked here on Instagram. I mean, on YouTube. Here we go.
The polygraph before.
Yeah. There's a snake in this group.
No one likes a liar. She's not telling the truth. The truth always comes to light.
Enough bullshit. Make it make sense. Why? She's not the person you think she is.
Would you rather be a housewife of Beverly Hills? This season on the Real
Show me your tits.
Take it easy, Grandma.
Okay, so far they're in New Orleans. There's a lot of screaming and there's a lot of flashing. So it's basically Tamra Judge. Amsterdam.
I'm gonna be in the tulips. That's such a natural hookup. Shannon, show us your Spanx.
No, I'm the madam.
Am I gonna be looking at your vagina all night?
That's the point. I'm just
Oh my God. And you guys think I am nasty?
kidding.
She's ready to mingle.
Did you make out with multiple men in Newport?
Yes.
Hi, kids.
Only you can make this happen. I'll give Josh a higher commission if he goes down here.
just forever.
That's the property line, isn't it?
I can't believe the
I broke
Dubrows
his
are already
penis for
selling.
real. Like it went like this.
Gretchen.
Jen, and I have been hanging out a lot.
She dips herself in formaldehyde.
I said, Tamra SOS, and I got a call right away.
You're talking about Captain Evil.
12 years you've been going after me. It's not the same thing.
Oh, shit.
Katie's like a silent assassin.
What you did is illegal.
Okay, Shaq, because it's all my fault.
We're done.
She left her grilled cheese. Gretchen said that you had an affair. There's audio of them having sex?
It's so far, though. I keep pausing because I'm trying to also help me so that I don't get a copyright thing. So far, I have to say, it's giving like old school Real Housewives. I'm into it.
She's lying.
Travis's son, we haven't seen in 3 weeks. He's got to go back to court. Whenever Travis and I are happy, we pay for it.
Luke, he's sad and it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I have this son that's in crisis and I feel alone in that. We're gonna end up divorced.
Babe, you're hot. I do.
I don't want Tamra at our wedding.
That woman caused so much pain. Sorry, what do you want, blood?
There's probably a lot more things that we just don't know.
Are you currently keeping any secrets?
Are you kidding me?
What do you know about me, bitch? Stop lying. Kick rocks, girlfriend.
That's probably when they were in, remember when they were in New Orleans? I think it was when they were in New Orleans and Tamra left early.
Bitch, run! Nobody believes you, not even the lie detector test.
She's full of shit.
Maybe I have truth serum.
Ooh.
That's called vodka.
Hey, I think it looks kind of good, you guys. And now we never really know with the trailers, but I think it actually kind of looks good. Pretty surprised. Okay. Let's move on and talk about just this one theory that I saw on Instagram last night or on Twitter last night. And I was really, really interested. And I couldn't even believe that this is something that I didn't think about. So Lucky on Karen Reed. Lucky, I posted it on my stories. Lucky, the snowplow driver, as we talked about so many times, he was a Canton local. He had been born and raised in Canton. He worked for the Alberts in a pizza delivery place. He was delivering pizzas to the Alberts for years. This is a good man, okay? He was the snowplow driver. Everyone knew that. What I saw on Twitter, and I never, ever would have put this together, was that had Karen Reed not called Jen McCabe the next morning, they were planning on making Lucky take the fall for hitting John O'Keefe with his snowplow. This tweet says, all I can think of watching Lucky's testimony is that the McAlberts 100% planned on claiming John O'Keefe was hit by the snowplow, specifically by Lucky, who they had known since childhood, who worked for the McAlberts family business for almost a decade, who was happy to deliver their pizza for Sunday family dinners. And had Lucky been framed, he wouldn't have had the same resources or attention to fight back. Makes me sad. The McAlberts are pure evil. I never put that together because if you actually put this in theory, if you think about this that night, they put his body on the lawn. Okay. Why would they have done that? Assuming Karen Reed never called Jen. They had no idea what was going to happen the next morning when they put John O'Keefe's body on the lawn. John O'Keefe's body was placed on the lawn. This is the theory that I'm working with. My theory that I'm working with is that Karen Reed did not hit John O'Keefe's body. My theory is that John O'Keefe did not get hit by a moving vehicle. So if John O'Keefe's body was placed on the lawn, what the people that were in that house and that placed his body, they did not assume that another person was going to call Jen McCabe and get involved in that. They just were going to say, someone drove by and hit him. Well, who drives by in a snowstorm at night? The snowplow. They waited until he drove by one time, and then they moved the body out there. It makes the most sense. Now, had Jen McCabe slept in that morning, had Karen Reed slept in that morning, just randomly, had she decided to sleep in because she was drunk and passed out and never was like anxious that John didn't come home. And at 7, 8, 9 a.m., she woke up that morning, she would have never been included in this trial. I don't believe she would have, because they would have come to her house and they would have knocked on the door and they would have said, John O'Keefe is dead, because they would have found his body as the sun came up, right? And maybe they would have looked at her car and they would have looked at the missing tail light. And maybe they would have seen a little bit of the tail. No, they wouldn't have even seen the tail. The tail light wouldn't have been missing, because she would have never driven at 5 a.m. to go look for him. Because the tail light, according to this whole, the defense, is that the tail light broke when she backed out the car at 5 a.m. and hit his car that was stationary. So her tail light would have been intact, and they would have come to her car and looked at her car, and she would have had not a scratch on the back of her car, and they would have had no way to blame her. And they would have blamed Lucky. They would have blamed the snowplow driver, because it makes the most sense. Of course it was the snowplow driver. Why else would a man? And even Karen says this when she woke up in the morning, she was like, oh my God, where is John? Did he get hit by a snowplow? Because this, I guess, is something that like people could be nervous about, because that's what happens in the middle of a blizzard. Snowplows drive. And he wouldn't have had the money. He wouldn't have had the resources to fight back. It's pretty shitty and insane to think about. And I never like put that together. He could have been the person. It's really, really interesting. Her whole life changed because she woke up concerned early in the morning, never really slept probably, woke up really early in the morning and called Jen McCabe. And had she not called Jen McCabe, none of this would have happened. If she just called Carrie, I think it would have been a completely different story. Because if she just called Carrie would have said, come to me and let's go look. But Carrie wouldn't have implicated her in this murder, right? Because Carrie wasn't involved. It was Jen McCabe that got her in the mix of it all. It's so intense if you think about it. If you watch the Microdots video about this, Microdots, who I think is incredible, he did a video on what Lucky actually would have seen driving with the snowplow that night, because obviously yesterday I showed you how he actually didn't, see anything, and people are a little confused. How could a snowplow really see? And this and that. And this is a great reenactment of what Lucky would have seen with his snowplow that night. I don't think there's any volume. Is there no volume to this? There's no volume. Okay, so he's driving, and that's how close the plow is to his body, because that's how close the street is to the flagpole. Of course he would see a body. I didn't even realize that his body was on this side of the flagpole. For some reason in my brain, I thought his body was in the inner side of the flagpole, closer to the house. There is no way. There's like no way that he would have missed it. And he was so sweet. You're right. Suki says in the comments, he said in his reenactment, he said, and God forbid, I always look everywhere because I'm looking for people backing out of their cars, for pedestrians, and God forbid any animals. I mean, and this Brennan, this ass Brennan, who is saying, and did you see a dumpster? I'm not sure if you remember that there was a dumpster that morning, like trying to trick him. Such a jerk. Of course, his body wasn't there, you guys. His body wasn't there. And I will never forget, everyone likes to pin it on Karen, that when they were driving back over by 34 Fairview, now you just saw that little like reenactment of what the street would look like that morning. When they were driving past 34 Fairview that morning, and Carrie Roberts is driving and Jen McCabe is in the passenger seat, and Karen Reed is in the back seat, and she's kind of like sitting up forward, anxious, looking left and right, trying to find John, thinking maybe he's walking or in the street somehow. They come up to 34 Fairview. Carrie Roberts has never been to the house, and it's snowing. So she's like 10 and 2, eyes on the road, right? It's early in the morning. It's still dark. Jen McCabe knows exactly where she is because they're driving up to her sister's house. And she also, in my mind, knows exactly where the body is. So she's not concerned whatsoever looking for the body. But Karen Reed is looking specifically for John. She sees that the house is coming up on the left. Her head is exactly looking towards the left as they're driving. She is the first person to capture John O'Keefe's body. And she goes, there it is. And in the documentary, when I first watched it, Jen McCabe or Carrie Roberts, I forget which one, is saying how crazy it is that Karen Reed immediately out of nowhere as they're driving and coming up onto the house spots John O'Keefe so fast. How it's so weird that she immediately spots him and she's like, that's him. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think that's weird whatsoever. Because if you are actually in the backseat of the car and your entire job is to look for this body, not to drive and not to avoid and pretend like you don't see it, like Jen McCabe, but your job is literally just to look for the body, it's not hard to find. He's right there. Anyone would see it. He's a dark figure on a white bed of snow. It's not hard to find. I don't live in a snowy area, but I've been in the snow before. Like the moon reflects in the snow. Like you can see things on snow. It's really, really a sad, sad case. Anyway, so I just pray Lucky is safe and okay and everything's going to be fine. And that's that. All right, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being here every day on Daily Dose of Donna. And I will talk to you soon and see you tomorrow for Friday already. We're already on Friday tomorrow. Bye, guys. Have a great day.